Roger Stone here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history. That's actual physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or you're retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/stone right now for your free Roger Stone Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit, or call 800-747-6589. That's 800-747-6589. Call now to receive your free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.
A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
With us today is Senator Joni Ernst, and she just got back from Israel, and she has a lot of things to say, and she is a military expert. And my God, Joni, Senator, where do we start?
Oh, my gosh, John. So let me tell you, it was an interesting trip overseas. And what I can say, and you're right, I served in the military. I served as a company commander during Operation Iraqi Freedom. So the Middle East is very important to me. But went to Israel, met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, met with a number of our Arab partners and their leadership across the Middle East. And I actually had one Arab leader tell me that they have given up on the United States. And there is an extreme lack of leadership right now. And the world is on fire because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are not doing their job at keeping peace and stability. So it's extremely disappointing to hear that so many of our partners have just kind of thrown their hands up at expecting American leadership, because it was obvious there has been none over the course of the past 3.5 years. But what we see in Israel is really, really hard, because I've been working to free our American hostages. And of course, we just saw the murder of Hersh Goldberg Poland, who is one of the American hostages that Hamas has been holding in the Gaza Strip. And we've got to find a way to end the war in a way that's advantageous for Israel, for their peace, for their security, and get our American hostages home. It needs to happen now. But the Biden administration, they're just not leading. And Senator, unfortunately, we keep losing Americans.
Senator, I agree with you. But there's no rule of one thing, the thing that's bothered me. There's no rule of law in the United States of America. Number two, there's no leadership in the Far East or Mid East. And I tell my environmentalist friends, we can knock out the Houthis in the Red Sea, that they have the Red Sea closed, and we can't ship our oil, and we can knock them out in 3 days, and there's no leadership in the White House. I mean, I said to the environmentalist friends that tanker that's leaking has 4 times the oil of the Exxon Valdez. And where are the environmentalists? The women that are being abused in Afghanistan. Where are the women's rights groups? I don't understand it, Senator. You're a woman. You're a military person. What the heck is going on?
Oh, my gosh. So many great points right there, John. Yes. I mean, the women's rights issues across the Middle East, you don't hear women's groups here in the United States calling it out. And even after October 7th, where we actually had videotape of Israeli women being raped and abused and babies that were killed. I mean, there's actual video footage of all of this. And yet we have these women's groups that wouldn't decry what Hamas did. We have the United Nations Women's Council that wouldn't stand up for those Israeli women. And why? Because they're Jewish. They were Israelis. So the people on the left are very, very hypocritical, not standing up for women's rights. And when you talk about the women in Afghanistan, John, you are absolutely correct. Biden abandoned everything that we had fought for and worked for in developing rights for women, allowing them to go to school, allowing them to travel, openly without fear of being targeted by the Taliban. And all of that we've given up. Joe Biden abandoned them, said, the heck with you, we're leaving. So the world is on fire.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't.
Oil can come down $10 to $15 a barrel if the Red Sea was open. I mean, I don't understand it. There's no common sense.
Well, John, that's part of the plan, though. Don't you think that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris want the cost of oil to go up? Because they have this green fantasy about everyone in the United States is going to drive an electric car.
But electric cars
and we
don't
know
work.
That's not true.
Electric cars don't work.
True.
It should be an option.
It'll never work.
It should be an option. If I want to drive an electric car, it should be an option.
Yep, consumer choice. I'm all about it.
Yes.
But the fact that they just want to cut it off. So I don't think they personally are concerned about the cost of oil out there. But most Americans, and John, a lot of folks in New York City, they rely on cabs that have an internal combustion engine or other means of transportation. People in Iowa most certainly rely on oil and gasoline to get them from point A to point B. But President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, they really don't care.
Yep. Well, Senator, thank you for coming on today, and God bless America. We have to help make sure our country survives, because right now, I think we're at the edge. I'm going to tell you one more thing, Senator, before we hang up.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, I was watching a PBS thing on the fall of Constantinople, which was the largest city in the Byzantine Empire. Well, I don't know if America can realize it, but we're going to be close to that.
We're teetering on the brink, John,
yes.
And God bless you for all you do and educating all of your listeners. Really appreciate you.
Thank you, Senator, and we'll catch up soon.
Sounds good.